Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Todd, let's clear up something first. I have that you were represented by Camille Reddick on one case and Lister Holton Dennis, Mr. Kamani on the other case. Did you wish to have Mr. Kamani represent you on both cases?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you've spoken with Mr. Kamani today regarding both cases?
Yes, ma'am.
And you no longer wish to have Camille Reddick as your attorney?
No, ma'am.
No, you do not. You do not wish to have her?
Yes, ma'am. I
All
do
right.
not wish to have her.
Okay, so I'll appoint Lister Holton Dennis. All right. So Mr. Kamani, on the case 2022 CR 06716 for reckless conduct, discharging a firearm, another firearms discharge on count 3, theft by receiving stolen merchandise count 4, and carrying a weapon concealed count 5. What is your client plead to the offenses?
Your Honor, to counts 1, 2, and 3, he's going to plead nolo.
Okay.
Count 4 will be no pros.
All right.
And nolo to count 5.
Okay. And then for case 2023 CR 01705 for Mr. Reddick, for Mr. Todd, he has battery family violence count 1, battery count 2, simple battery family violence count 3, and simple battery count 4. How does your client plead?
Guilty to count 1, and counts 2, 3, and 4 will merge.
Okay. So Mr. Todd, by entering a plea of nolo to counts 1, 2, and 3, and count 5 on the case 2022 CR 06716, and by entering a count of guilty to count 1 on the case 2023 CR 01705, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. Give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Factual basis and recommendation for the case 2022 CR 06716.
Yes, Your Honor. On May 23rd of 2021, while an officer was on patrol of 649 Jonesboro, Georgia, where the incident did occur in Clayton County, the officer observed, who was later identified as Mr. Roderick Todd, and a second individual. The officer observed Mr. Todd firing a handgun in the air, and then observed both of the parties walk across the street to 701. The officers made contact with both subjects and determined that the defendant had in his possession black Walker 9mm serial number B as in boy, A as in apple, 0153. After checking the gun, it was determined that the gun was stolen out of Alabama, and then the officer then took the individuals into custody. This is recommending for count 1, 12 months of probation, for count 2, $300 fine, 40 hours of community service, count 3, 12-month probation run concurrent with count 1. For count 4, the state is moving to no pros. For count 5, 12 months probation. Additionally, the defendant must forfeit the weapon. The 9mm serial number B as in boy, A as in apple, 0153.
Where's the firearm safety class?
And a firearm safety class, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Todd, how old are you, sir?
30 years old.
Mr. Todd, what kind of idiot are you? What, you think the bullets float up in the air like astronauts in space? You don't think they come down? I just read an article yesterday where a single mama of 2 children was killed because somebody shot up in the air. They wasn't shooting at nobody, they shot up in the air. The bullet came down. Guess who it hit? A single mama on her way to get food for her husband and her, I mean, she wasn't a single mom, actually, she's married, going on her way to get food for her family, for her husband and her children. So 2 children now not have no mama because some fool shot up in the air. Where do you think the bullets are going?
I was intoxicated, ma'am, and I wasn't just thinking completely
So
straight.
you drinking and handling a gun?
I was just trying to test it out and
Okay,
make sure.
so let's be clear, real clear. Part of this is going to be he is not to have or possess any firearm during the course of this probation, and we're going to run 12 to 1, 3 consecutive to 1. So for the next 24 months, no firearms. You understand? Because if you're stupid enough to have a firearm and mix alcohol with it, that's, you just ain't got good sense at all. You're just trying to kill somebody. For the next 24 months, I want Clayton County to be safe from you.
Yes, ma'am.
What you do for a living?
I work with my family business.
Okay, that could mean anything, drugs, gun running, I mean, lawn service. What is it?
FOM management. My parents, we got a business, we rent out properties.
Okay, so I'm a little familiar with that because that's my family business too. So you running around, your parents working hard, building, getting properties, acquiring properties, managing properties, working on properties, but you don't put yourself in the business because they're getting older. You ain't doing none of that. Now you running around drinking and shooting guns in the air because you don't have a bit more sense. A business person does not do that. So that tells me that your family, this is your family that did all this building and acquiring. And now since they're getting older, you trying to insert yourself into that, but you don't have a business mind. You ever pay quarterly taxes?
Oh, ma'am.
Okay, so yeah, you don't know nothing about that. So no, you is unemployed, except for when your family asks you to do something for the business. Did I interpret that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go on to the next case. Case 2023CR01705. I've been doing this for 7 years, and even before that, I had common sense. For real? Go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. On January 2nd, 2022, an officer was dispatched to 73 HAU, and that is in Riverdale, Georgia, where the incident occurred in Clayton County in reference to a domestic disturbance. Upon the officer's arrival, he made contact with Ms. ALA. She advised that the defendant, Mr. Todd, who was her boyfriend, had gone to visit another relative, and during that time they got into a verbal altercation, and the defendant told the victim to leave the residence. As she packed her belongings and left, the defendant followed her out and told her to come back. When she came back, he began choking her with both of his hands. She advised that she did not lose consciousness, and she was trying to separate herself from Mr. Davis, Mr. Todd, and then he began to strike her in the face with a closed fist. Again, he pulled her in to attempt to hug her, and then bit her on her upper back. The officer did observe the bite marks on the back of the victim, and Mr. Todd was taken into custody. The state is recommending 12 months to serve 30 days. Mr. Todd has been in custody since January 20th of 2023. 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for the time served, the balance to be probated, family violent intervention program, $300 fine, no contact with the victim. Counts 2, 3, and 4 would merge.
So back to the case ending in 06716. So, sir, I'm going to sentence you to 12 on count 1, 12 months probation. Count 2, $300 fine, 40 hours of community service, and 12 months probation to run concurrent with count 1. 12 on count 3 is 12 months probation to run consecutive to count 1. On count 5 is 12 months probation, forfeit the firearms and not have any firearms during the course of your sentence for the entire 12 months of count 1 and count 2 and count 5, and also for the entire 12 months of count 3, you'll have no firearms in your possession. Any firearm possession, whether it's yours or belongs to somebody else, will result in a revocation of your sentence, a revocation of your probated sentence. On count, on the case ending in 01705, 12 months to serve 30 days. Credit for time served, the balance will be probated for you to take a family violence intervention program course, to pay a fine in the amount of $300. That's going to be $444, and to have no contact with a Lavis. Then you will risk being sentenced to jail time for the remainder of the 12-month sentence. You'll also risk being charged with additional misdemeanors and with possibly with felonies. Now, let's talk turkey, Mr. Todd. You're a 30-year-old unemployed man who's going around wreaking havoc and mayhem. Is your problem drinking? You got a drug problem or an alcohol problem? Tell me.
Alcohol.
Okay, so also you'll attend 2 AA meetings per week as part of your sentence on the case ending in 01705.
All right.
And you'll show proof of having attended those 2 AA meetings per week. We clear?
Yes, ma'am, for the entire 12 months.
Yes, sir. Mr. Todd, you're 30 years old. If you don't get your life together now when you got this opportunity, you're never going to get your life together.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm 20 years older than you, and look at how silky smooth my skin is. You 30 years old, and life has been hard. You look in it. Get yourself together, sir. I mean, it's not a game. You could have easily killed yourself, your partner who was running with you like a fool, you shooting up in the air, both y'all drunk, or you could have killed somebody else because you're making horrible decisions. You biting people. Come on, who does that? You almost choked your way into a felony.
Yes, ma'am.
Had she said she was unable to breathe or lost consciousness, you would be in felony court right now. Not before me.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, get yourself together, sir. Why waste your life? And let me tell you, please, please, please don't fail to do my conditions, because you will be back before me. And if you're not doing what I say for you to do on the outside, then there's no reason for you to be on the outside. You hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Every sheriff who sat in that seat has assured me they got plenty of room in the jail, and I suspect this one will too. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, anything else on behalf of Mr. Todd before I put him in a breakout room with the Mr. Carmichael?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to put Mr. Todd in a breakout room with Mr. Carmichael.